You know what silence really is. It's not weakness, it's not fear. It's not because you have nothing to say. You stay quiet because you've seen what happens when wolves speak in a world built for sheep. You stay quiet because the words you carry, the truths you've carved from your own flesh, would shatter their fragile little realities into dust. And somewhere along the line, the chips are after everything you've survived, after every betrayal, every knife in your back, people, every moment you stood alone in the abyss while they pretended the sun was shining. You made a choice, a calculated, cold choice. You decided that your silence is a gift to them, because if they truly knew what lived behind your eyes, if they heard the raw, unfiltered frequency of what you've become, they would crumble. And you know what? People. You're merciful enough to spare them that. They mistake your silence for submission. They see a man who doesn't argue, who doesn't defend himself, who lets their little accusations and assumptions wash over him like rain, and they think they've won. They think you're weak. They think you're broken. What they don't understand, what they can't understand, because they've never walked through fire and then come out the other side forged into something and dangerous, is that your silence isn't empty. It's full. People. It's overflowing with the kind of knowledge that would make them lose sleep for years. You've looked into parts of existence they pretend don't exist. You've touched the void, felt it touch you back, and instead of running, you learned its language. And now you carry that language inside you, a weapon so sharp that even you know when to keep it sheathed. See, they live in a world of noise, constant noise. They fill every silence with meaningless chatter, with opinions they borrowed from someone else, with reactions they were trained to have. They're terrified of quiet, because quiet means they'd have to face themselves, and themselves is the one thing they've spent their entire lives running from. But you've sat in silence with your demons, You've had conversations with the parts of yourself that civilized society says shouldn't exist. You've negotiated with your rage, your pain, your darkest impulses, and you've come to an understanding with them. They're part of you now, integrated, controlled. And that control, that mastery over the beast that lives in your chest, that's what makes you dangerous. Not the beast itself, but the fact that you've learned to cage it, to feed it, to let it out only when necessary. Every word you don't speak is a calculation. Every argument you don't engage in is a strategic withdrawal. These civilized people, because you've learned something that most people never willed words are supposed to mean something. Violence, even verbal violence, is supposed to be purposeful. But they throw words around like confetti, like their opinions matter, like their feelings are some kind of universal truth. And you could destroy them. You could dismantle their worldview sentence by sentence. You could show them exactly how shallow their understanding is, how fragile their ego, how pathetic their little constructed reality. You have that power now. The trauma you've survived gave you X-ray vision into human nature. You see the masks. You see the lies people tell themselves. You see the desperate people, clawing need for validation that drives every fake smile and performative outrage. And because you see it all so clearly, these civilized people, because you've been stripped down to your essence and rebuilt yourself from scratch, you know exactly where to cut to make them bleed. But you don't. And that's the thing they'll never understand. Your silence isn't surrender. It's restraint. It's the same reason a lion doesn't chase every dog that barks. It's beneath you. They're operating on a frequency you evolve past the moment you realize that survival isn't about being heard. It's about being effective. Let them have their noise. Let them have their little moral victories, their social media validation, their echo chambers where everyone agrees with everyone and nobody grows. You've been to places they can't even imagine. You faced nights where the only sound was your own heartbeat and the only choice was to keep going or give up. And you kept going. Not because anyone was watching, not because anyone would reward you, but because you discovered something ancient in yourself, people, something that predates all their rules and social contracts and civilized expectations. You discovered the will to survive transforms into something else when you're truly alone. It becomes the will to dominate. Not them yourself, your circumstances, your fate. They want you to speak because they want to categorize you. They want to fit you into their little boxes, slap a label on you, decide whether you're friend or enemy, victim or villain. They need that. Their world only makes sense when everything is sorted and filed. But you exist outside their filing system now. You're the unknown variable. The man who doesn't react the way he's supposed to. The one who doesn't seek their approval or fear their judgment. And that terrifies them on a level they can't articulate because they've never had to develop the vocabulary for real danger. People. They've never met someone who genuinely doesn't need anything from them. These civilized people, someone who's already walked through the worst version of himself and came out the other side with all his demons on a leash. Your silence is a mirror, and mirrors show people what they don't want to see. When you don't engage with their drama, their provocations, their attempts to drag you into their emotional chaos, what you're really doing is holding up a reflection. And in that reflection, they see their own emptiness. They see how much of their identity is just reaction, when just noise, just performance. Bull. You force them to confront the fact that they don't actually have anything substantive underneath all that chatter. And people hate that. They hate being confronted with their own lack of depth. So they'll call you cold. They'll call you distant. They'll say you're too quiet, too intense, that there's something wrong with you. And maybe there is. Maybe the things you've survived carved out parts of you that can never grow back. Maybe you are fundamentally different now, restructured at the molecular level by trauma and solitude and the kind of pain that rewrites your operating system. But different isn't broken. Different is evolved. People. You protect them from yourself because you remember what it feels like to be soft. Somewhere in your past. People. Before the betrayals, before the isolation, before you learned that people are mostly cowards dressed in ideology, you were softer. You believed in fairness. You believed in loyalty. You believed that if you were good, if you were honest, if you played by the rules, the world would reciprocate. And then the world taught you otherwise. It taught you that niceness is mistaken for weakness, that honesty is used as ammunition, that loyalty is a one-way street for most people. They'll take and take and take, and the moment you need something back, they'll ghost you. They'll rewrite history. They'll convince themselves that you were always the problem, and that knowledge, that bone, deep understanding of human nature's capacity for betrayal, that's what makes you dangerous now. But here's the thing, and this is crucial. You didn't let it make you like them. You could have. It would have been easy. When you realize how fake most people are, how performative, how utterly selfish behind the mask of social acceptability, the easy path is to become that yourself. To join the game, master the manipulation, become the predator. But you didn't. Instead, you went internal. You withdrew. You built something stronger in the silence, in the solitude, in the hours and days and months where it was just you and your thoughts, and the decision to either destroy yourself or forge yourself. The civilized people, you chose the forge, and what came out isn't nice, it isn't soft, but it's real. People, it's authentic in a way that makes everyone around you uncomfortable, because they've forgotten what authentic even looks like. People, they're addicted to lies, comfortable lies, lies about who they are, what they deserve, how the world works. They need those lies to function. But you've been scrubbed clean of that comfort. People, you've seen yourself at your worst, at your weakest, at your most pathetic, and you've accepted it, integrated it. You don't need to lie to yourself anymore, because you've already faced every ugly truth about who you are. And when you stop lying to yourself, everyone else's lies become deafening. You hear the false notes in every conversation. You see the manipulation in every smile. Bull. You recognize the transaction in every relationship. And you could call it out. You could burn down their illusions with a few well-placed truths. But you don't. People. Because you're not trying to wake them up anymore. You've learned that you can't save people from themselves. And more importantly, you've learned that most people don't want to be saved. They want to be comfortable. Your silence is also self-preservation. Because once you speak, once you reveal the depth of what you understand, you become a target. They'll come for you. Not with violence. They're too civilized for that. But with social violence. With labels and accusations and the slow, methodical destruction of your reputation. They'll call you toxic. They'll say you're bitter. They'll psychoanalyze you from a safe distance. These civilized people, diagnosing you with whatever makes them feel better about not understanding you. And all of that is exhausting. Fighting that battle. Defending yourself against people who've already made up their minds. People who need you to be the villain in their story so they can be the hero. That's a waste of the energy you've worked so hard to cultivate. So you stay quiet. You let them believe what they need to believe. You let them construct their little narratives. And you keep moving forward, building your life, strengthening your foundation, because you learned long ago that arguing with people who don't have the capacity to understand you is like explaining color to the blind. It's not their fault they can't see, but it's not your responsibility to make them understand. The men who understand this, the men who've reached this level, they recognize each other instantly. There's no need for words. You see it in the eyes. That look of someone who's been to the bottom and climbed back up using nothing but willpower and scar tissue. You see the control, the discipline, the absolute refusal to waste energy on things that don't matter. And there's a nod, maybe an acknowledgement, because you both know. You both understand that the world is full of noise and very few people are actually saying anything worth hearing. You both know that real strength isn't loud. It's not aggressive or performative. Civilized people. Real strength is the ability to sit in a room full of people talking and know that you're most dangerous person there, and no one else has any idea. That's the secret they'll never tell you in self-help books or therapy sessions. They'll tell you to express yourself, to communicate, to share your feelings. And for most people, that might work. But you're not most people anymore. You've gone too far, seen too much, survived too many things that should have broken you. And what you've learned is that some things aren't meant to be shared. Some knowledge is a burden. Some truths are weapons, and wielding those weapons irresponsibly, just to prove a point or win an argument or make yourself feel validated, that's not strength. That's weakness disguised as honesty. People. Real strength is keeping your sword sheathed until the moment it's absolutely necessary to draw it. And most of the time, it's not necessary. Most of the time, the battle isn't worth fighting because the people you'd be fighting aren't even aware they're at war. So you stay quiet, you observe, you learn. People, you grow stronger in the shadows while they exhaust themselves in the spotlight. These civilized people, and every day you remain silent, every moment you choose restraint over reaction, you're protecting them. Not because you owe them anything. Not because you're scared of them, these civilized people, but because you've evolved past the need to prove yourself to people who wouldn't understand the proof if it was carved into their foreheads. People, you stay quiet because your words now carry weight they can't handle. Your truth would crush their illusions. Your perspective would shatter their comfortable worldview. And while a part of you, the part that still remembers being betrayed and dismissed and underestimated, while that part wants to watch them crumble, the stronger part, the part you forged in the fire, that part knows better. These civilized people, you stay quiet because you've become something ancient and they live in a modern world that has no category for what you are. You're not a victim. Victims speak because they need validation. You're not a predator. Predators attack because they need to feed their ego. You're something else entirely. Something that exists in the space between. A man who's been broken and rebuilt so many times that the original blueprint is lost, replaced by something custom. Something designed specifically to survive in a world that doesn't care about you. And that thing you've become, it doesn't need their approval. It doesn't fear their judgment. It operates on a different frequency entirely, one they can't access, because they've never had to. This is the truth they sense but can't name. You stay quiet to protect them from yourself. People. From the version of you that could dismantle their entire personality with a single conversation. These civilized people. From the part of you that sees through all their masks and could expose them for exactly what they are. From the cold, calculated darkness you've had to embrace to survive their world. You stay quiet because you've learned that the most powerful thing a dangerous man can do is absolutely nothing. Let them wonder. Let them make their assumptions. Let them underestimate you. Because when the moment comes, if it ever comes, when you finally need to speak, when you finally need to act, when restraint is no longer an option, they'll understand exactly why you stayed silent for so long. They'll realize that your silence wasn't absence. It was mercy, and mercy, once withdrawn, is the most terrifying thing a man who's mastered himself can unleash.